Hello and welcome back to Cedar Porch Homestead. I'm JR and I really want to talk to you about a generation of information that we have really untapped for the most part in an urban homesteading, rural homesteading, or really just a neighborhood flower bed kind of thought process. What we don't use is our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our neighbors that have a generation of knowledge that they haven't passed on to us yet, or we haven't asked. Yesterday we had the fluke of going and visiting my parents. We weren't planning on going up there. It just kind of happened that we were halfway there and we continued for a visit. And through that, we got to essentially take a tour and just learn from my mom and dad about what they do for their flower beds, what they do for their own personal garden, what they do. And they're in no way farmers, ranchers. They don't have a history of it. It's just information that they have from their generation. Now they are in their mid to upper 60s. Sorry, mom and dad, for outing you on that, but I'm getting older. Unfortunately, so are you. And the information they have from that generation is amazing compared to what you talk to people my age now. A lot of people our age, they go to the box stores. Nothing against the box stores. It's a necessary evil. Same thing with online shopping. It's just part of what has become our generation and what we do and convenience. But speaking of convenience, right now money's tight. All over the nation, money's tight. So why go to those stores? Why go to those online platforms and spend that money that you don't necessarily have to spend on your garden, your flower bed? So what was really interesting is when we got to take that walk around with my parents and they showed us how they propagate their plants, how they seed save, how they do things for flowers and plants that we really don't think about. You know, we go online and I can go on Amazon and have okra seeds here tomorrow. Well, the neighbor walked over with a giant okra, and I'll show it to you now, where it's dried out, it's ready to go for next season. It's full of seeds and it cost me nothing. That packet might have cost me $2, $3, $4, where she just handed it over with a big smile and was so happy to tell us where she got it, how she got it, who gave it to her, the history of that seed, which was amazing. And we're just so fortunate that we had that experience yesterday, and it's nothing that we've ever really talked about with my parents. It's nothing that we've ever asked them questions about. So like I said, yesterday was really fortunate. We walked around. I had an entire interview with my mom and dad of what they do now that they've moved. And we say moved. They moved across the street and built a new house. But it's, how they're starting their flower bed there, what they are doing to improve their garden bed soil for their flower beds and for their own personal gardens, their compost, what they're trying now versus what they've done in the past. It was really fascinating, and I'll show you some footage of that now. Dude, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then you guys, this is broccoli coming up right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have one broccoli. Yeah.
And this is basil.
Basil, and it went off a seed. Oh, look at that dude. So we have an abundance of these guys here, right? The little grasshoppers.
Oh, yeah.
So we feed these to the chickens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we take them and just throw them to the chickens, and the chickens go nuts.
What else was I going to get out? Oh, I was looking for... I was going to see if these had any dead hits on them.
So what is that?
What?
The big pink one.
That's a zinnia.
Zinnia, yeah.
Okay, our zinnias literally had like these little bitty flowers on top and then did nothing.
Well, you can dig that one up and take it.
No. We're gonna do it right.
Here's a real plant too. If you want to dig this one up, you can have it.
What is that?
It's that vinca, the same thing that's over there, but it's a white one.
Oh, okay. I'll dig it up.
Because I just kind of threw some seeds over here because we wasn't having a garden.
You and your green thumb, I'm so jealous.
Well, I had such good dirt across the street.
Yeah, because
We're
it's flooded 4 times.
We're starting over now. But you can dig these up too. I think these are...
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Those are sugar snap peas.
So what, bush, right? Bush beans?
I think they're sugar snap peas.
Yeah, but they're not gonna pole. They don't need to grow up something, they grow out, right?
I don't know.
So we have some of
I
those.
left those there for them to grow on.
Ah. Cool.
And there's my compost.
Oh, okay.
The grass kind of took over.
So how do you, but how do you manage your compost? You just keep adding to it?
I just throw stuff in it.
Do you never turn it or anything like that? No? Okay. So.
But I think the animals eat it. I don't think it grows.
This is a deer sanctuary, is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure. And if y'all needed any horse manure, we have plenty of that too.
We'll go get some.
Oh, but see, and I have tomatoes on this. I just planted these a couple months ago.
Jeez. Like our tomatoes, totally done. Like they didn't do anything this year. God, I have got to get better soil. So, okay, your dirt, like you compost. Do you ever harvest dirt from your compost?
I do.
Do
but
you?
I haven't from that one, but across the street, remember?
Yeah, okay.
We
But
had
that was
that
the
black
tumbler,
thing.
right? That
Yeah,
was
we
the
had the
tumbler.
tumbler.
But like, so you're doing like lazy man's compost, right? Where you just pile it. So you've never ever harvested from this site? So this is an experiment for you.
No, I just throw it in there. I'm
Okay.
recycling. But over there, that dirt was so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because I raked all those leaves for years.
See, and this is full of leaves
Uh-huh.
from the ditch,
Yeah.
from anywhere, and then we put dirt and compost, dirt and mulch in it.
Okay, and that's just what? Dirt from the box store, or the dirt from Lowe's, Home Depot, or where do you get your dirt?
We got it from Handy Dan, whatever that's called down
Oh,
there.
Ace Hardware?
Yeah.
Okay. So just, really it's just topsoil. You just throw dirt in it, dirt, and then all your compost and leaves. And you just have generated, I'm so jealous of your green thumb.
And then I will buy some good dirt, but that good dirt costs so much.
Yes, my thriftiness.
We bought 2 bags of good dirt. That was $15 a bag. And I threw some of it in here, and I threw some of it over there. But you know, I'm
so
just making
just use it like a top dressing.
You know, I make it wherever I put it. I put it in the
Oh, just the like
where I'm putting
the
the
root
roots.
base.
Yeah,
Okay,
because it costs too much.
I understand.
These are your daddy's flower beds that I had to make. He put the metal around. These azaleas did not like it over there,
Okay.
but they're still alive. So I'm hoping they will come back here. And these are just where I cut like this. I told you cut it at an angle where the root, the stem breaks off, and I put those there.
And they're already starting to bloom and go. Or these are just, no, you just
I
built
just did it
this.
3 days ago.
Okay, because you got all your leaves and stuff like that from like a chip drop, like the.
Yes, they cut all the trees down,
Right.
and your daddy told them to pour it over there. I have lots if you need any. And then I was going to cut some of these. But see, these are little.
So those are zinnias too, right?
Yeah, but I think because they don't get any sun, they don't really like it.
So the ours didn't do anything. I wondered because they were never getting enough sun over there in the old
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah, because ours don't look anything like these.
No, ours were pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, don't be giving these freeloaders our stuff.
But see, these did better over here because they're closer to the sun.
Yay.
But see, like I tried to put a little dirt wherever I'm putting a plant.
And they just take off from that, huh? Okay.
But then I just threw seeds out and they just came up there too.
So it doesn't matter.
But no, I don't. Karen really waters her crap all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, she takes care of it like they're babies. I want mine to be self-sufficient.
I agree. I'm down. I like that. Very cool. Well, I think I'm gonna, since we got Eva's approval next door, I'm gonna go put some more of her stuff.
Let's see
What's
the.
that stuff called? Across the street?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called either.
I see your pecan tree. And Dad said you're gonna lose an oak. This oak up front.
There's another little one if you just want a little one.
So I see on all your trees that you planted the PVC pipe.
Right.
Obviously that is for water, right?
Yep.
How often do you water them? Whenever it rains.
When we first planted them, we water them every day.
Okay.
And then for about 3 weeks, we did every day because of obviously the drought.
Right.
You know, they wouldn't get any water. So, and it's a pretty doggone good investment if you don't have any water. So, as you can see, all the pine trees, we put those in there because those are not cheap, and I think it paid off watering them every day.
Well, they look good.
You know, so this is the only one out of the 9 trees that we planted that we're having a little issue, but it's still not brittle. So it may survive. We'll have to see in the spring.
Okay.
What happens.
Other than that, a little bit of chip material, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Some firewood.
Switches for the girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's your chip pile.
Our what pile?
Family friendly. We're family friendly.
Here you get some, like you can, Jerry, you can pull, she said like even over here.
That's what seeds cost.
Hey, if you're gonna get some more, Jared, get those out of that inlet right there.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you.
Out of the where?
The inlet.
Stealing
What, the neighbor's plants now?
stealing more flowers.
Oh, this inlet right here?
Yeah.
The little ones? Oh, God.
Yeah.
I thought they were little. They go all the way down to the bottom of this grate.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, well, I think they're just going to break off. 'Cause I can't get them.
Yeah, but I think they still transplant that way.
We're going to see. Oh, there we go. Let's go over here. "15 minutes. We got permission from the neighbor to come pull some of these. But I can't pull any of them, but we'll go see. Apparently you can just stick those in the ground and they propagate. I don't even know what this plant is. I don't want to reach too far in there because growing up there was a bunch of copperheads that used to hang around here. So
Yeah. And it's still warm here.
and it is still 80 something degrees. So yeah. All right, I think that's gonna be good. Got more work than I can time to do it. What was
And
that?
here's some zinnias from Karen. You can plant half this year and half next year if you want, or whenever you want to.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Aunt Karen.
Look at all that.
Y'all ready to go in a minute?
Yep, we're ready.
Oh, and I can't forget these. Some of this stuff we're just gonna have to let grow to find out what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
Looks like a lot of work tomorrow.
So you remember Courtney bought me that beautiful little compost
The yellow one.
jar? Yeah, the
Okay,
jar.
right.
But it was too heavy.
Okay.
So now that we've moved to an elevated home, I don't want to go outside every time I have compost.
All right.
So I just put it in a little grocery sack or Whataburger cup and just put it in the freezer till I'm ready to throw it out.
Not to pick, is that like an elderly hack? Is that?
Tell me what we did today.
Well, today was amazing because we're stuck in traffic.
Yes. But what happened today makes all of this worth it.
Totally worth it. So, not even planning on doing this. I got off work this morning, shagged over to the house to get a shower and hang out with my family. Went to the orthodontist, got great news for Ashlyn that her braces are coming off end of this month. She's with Nani and Pawpaw behind us, but she is super excited. And then while we were halfway to my parents' house, I called them because we haven't seen them in a while and said, hey, what are y'all doing today? We'll come hang out if you guys have got nothing planned. So we were welcomed with open arms, and I don't even know how this happened, but we just started walking around their yard and we got all kinds of free stuff.
All kinds.
So, which has kind of been like my underlying joke of like my whole flower beds are going to be free. Like I don't want to pay for anything in my flower bed. And today it kind of happened. So she walked around, was giving us seeds, was giving us flower heads that are full of seeds.
Cuttings. We got a lot of cuttings.
We went over to her neighbor's house, and the Miss Eva was nice enough to say, please take everything you want. And I'm not even sure what the plants were, but we got a bunch of those cuttings too. And we have a really cool spot that we're going to be putting those on the side of the house because they don't need a lot of sunlight apparently. And we got an ambulance behind us, so I'm going to pull over so we can let the emergency services by.
Oh, look at this. Aren't you glad we don't live in the big city anymore?
We don't live far enough away from the big city is the problem. So I'm gonna get 2 of those, I think.
A raised bed soil.
Yeah.
Alright.
I do. So our plan today is to get some of the seeds and the cuttings that we got from Mom and my sister and the neighbor, and we're gonna start planting some of that in some raised cedar boxes that we have here. We're not gonna put them in the ground, and I actually had to buy potting soil, which I wasn't really happy about, but I'm out of dirt right now for the garden. I've got a lot of things for my winter garden that are kind of going, but I don't have the soil for any flowers or anything else right now because we're just now starting to build up our soil here on the backyard homestead, and I just don't have anything that I can plant in right now. So I had to go to Tractor Supply and get some potting soil. Now, it wasn't cheap. It was a little bit more expensive than I like to spend on dirt, but that's what we have without me having to get in the truck and go all the way, 30 miles to the nursery or the box store that has cheaper dirt. So that's where we are, and that's what we're going to work with. And also, because this is for flower beds, I'm not so worried about it being organic, and so I kind of cheated on that. It was for flowers, so we're not going to be eating these because these aren't going to be edible flowers. So I think I'm okay with that. real quick, I want to talk about our haul from yesterday. Some of the plants that we were able to get from the neighbor, we found out when we got home, and she even told us, she goes, they're pretty aggressive, they're an invasive, but she didn't know what they were. So we got home, we're like, we probably need to look this one up. So they're Mexican petunias, and from what we read, they are extremely invasive. They're beautiful, don't get me wrong, and if you can do them, I guess, in containers, or you can keep them, but we wanted them for a landscape area next to our house. And we were afraid that it would take over the entire area and part of the yard, and we just didn't really want that right now. So we found a really good place for them. Our burn barrel. And we're gonna let them dry out, and we're probably gonna burn those before they're able to propagate anywhere close to our burn barrel as well. The one thing I want to show you too is some of the plants that we did get, and then we're gonna plant. So these beautiful things right here are periwinkles, and from what my mom said, you just can take them, put that in the ground, and they'll root and they'll take off and be good to go. So we're gonna plant several of the vinca, or the periwinkles. We got some bulbs from my sister, and I have to remember what these are. You know what? I'm gonna call her and find out exactly what they are so I can put that right there. Okay. And then we've got some sprouted periwinkle. We also got these pretty purple flowers from my sister's. I don't remember exactly what they are, but they also are kind of aggressive, but we're gonna put those in a pot, see how they go. We have some periwinkle still with the roots. We have a lot of flower seed heads from stuff around my mom's yard. My Aunt Karen gave us a lot of seed heads that we're going to plant next year. We're going to hold off on those until next year. The other thing we got are some rogue asparagus plants that we're going to put there. And hopefully we start to really liven up our garden. We've had because we've had a lot of the marigolds and snapdragons in our garden, we've also seen an increase of butterflies and pollinators, which is always really nice to watch happen in your garden. So we're gonna get this stuff planted, we're gonna get it in the soil, and hopefully we really make a pretty garden for Courtney. So according to my mom, these are the periwinkle, and you can, each one of these little shoots, all you have to do is stick them in the ground. I don't know, maybe those are too long. We're gonna cut them back a little bit. How about that? We're gonna do a little bit shorter so they're not so stemmy. Maybe I messed up, I don't know, we'll find out. We're gonna we'll see, right? It's all an experiment. All right, so here are some of our marigolds that we bought from the store, and this is a little hack that I was taught yesterday. Had no idea. Now you guys might know that. Leave a comment below if you already knew about seed saving from stuff like this. All right, so we got our dried out marigold. Oops. Dried out marigold. Now let's head over here So my daughter set this up for some wildflowers and they did nothing. So check this out real quick. Set the camera up real quick. All right. So dried out. Take the top petals off. You see all that in there. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel that back. And you see all those? See all these little seeds. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna plant some marigolds and just see if we can get them to propagate. No clue if those are going to seed, but they should. But look at all these seeds. And we've got plenty of dried out marigold flowers. And we can save these. Now it's November 10th. We're about to get a cold front. You know, the south winter is about to hit us. We're in zone 9, 9A. But look at all those seeds from our marigolds. Look at all those. And I think when we went to the store, we probably paid $5 or $6 for a marigold plant. Well, we ain't gonna do that anymore. And these are Ashland zinnias here, and they did absolutely nothing. And she grew these from seed that we got from the store. These are some big zinnias that we got from Mom. So let's see if we can't do the same thing. And we're gonna do this kind of the lazy man's way. We're just gonna sprinkle some seeds in here from one of these heads. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, so the last thing we're going to plant is going to be this amaryllis bulb. And we got these from my sister. These were the bulbs I showed you earlier that I couldn't remember what they were. So we're gonna plant these along the front of the house. They're supposed to be taller, like up to like 30 inches, I think, maybe 24 to 30 inches. These are going to be a red and white flower, and they bloom in the spring. So right now is actually a great time to plant them in late fall, early winter for our zone here in 9A. And we're gonna plant them along the front of our house. And I mean, they didn't cost us anything. So if they come up, awesome. If they don't, then it didn't cost me anything but a few holes in the front of my yard. I really appreciate you watching up until this point, and if I could, I'll leave you with a little bit of parting thoughts that I've had on that have kind of resonated in the last 2 days. And we spend so much time, and I'm not a history buff, but I love history. I love reading about history. I love watching historical movies and documentaries. But what we don't spend enough time doing is spending that time with historical people, and not the individuals from way back. I'm speaking of just the generations before us, the mom and dads, the grandma and grandpas, the aunts, the uncles, the neighbors, the people that had to live through times that we might have to start going through here in the future. We might not, hopefully not. I pray that we don't, but if we do, we can't afford to have that information and that knowledge lost because we were too caught up with the conveniences of our modern day living. Stop what you're doing. Talk with your mom, your dad, your aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa's neighbors, the people that have the backyard gardens, that have the beautiful flower beds, the people that have that knowledge and know-how to make it through times that we ourselves might find ourselves in. And this isn't a prepper, this isn't a apocalyptic type narrative I'm trying to perpetuate. What I'm trying to say is, don't be so complacent that we lose that knowledge that our parents grew up with at secondhand, and it's completely lost because we didn't take the time to spend with our parents.